Hey man, how are you? Hey buddy, can I ask you something? Hey, hey! And welcome back. This is Tactical Tuesday, which means we are going to be talking about some self-defense related topics. I'm Johnny Tiger, and this is my diary, week number 6 of the coronavirus quarantine. Now, I remember back when I was a teenager, still getting interested and involved in various self-defense related fields of martial arts. I went to this one seminar where they were supposed to be teaching self-defense to blind people. And I remember very distinctly that even back then, at the age of 14, I thought there was something really hanky or wacky or wonky about what they were teaching us. Because what the instructor was teaching us was, if someone come up and grab my wrist, I was supposed to do some kind of knee in the groin, escape the lock, and then turn and run away and go for help. That is not teaching self-defense to the blind. That is teaching women self-defense. Now, why do I say that that wouldn't work for blind people? Well, first place, for the blind person to turn and run away is like one of the worst idea I have ever heard. One of the worst things you can teach a blind person to do is turn and run away. Because a blind person, 9 out of 10 times, especially in a wide open environment like out there in the street or out in back alley, is not going to outrun a sighted attacker. Unless you just happen to have one blind guy attacking another blind guy in dark alley, which is really rare that kind of thing would happen. Most likely, if a blind girl or a blind guy getting attacked out there, it's going to be by someone with vision. So trying to run away from them and outrun them, and then getting jumped from behind by the attacker, is just a really bad idea. Not to mention, as a blind person, if you try to run in a strange environment, you run the risk of tripping over things and running right into the street in front of maybe passing cars. And let's say you do trip over a bench. Now you're down on the ground, and the attacker just catches up to you. What are you going to do now? Now you got an even bigger problem. You're already injured. You just tripped over and broke your leg. Now you won't even be able to fight back. So even back then, I came to a realization that you can't cookie cutter self-defense move. You can't take one self-defense move and say, this is going to work for everybody, no matter you are a midget, or if you're 7 feet tall, or if you are 300 pounds, or if you're 100 pounds, you're male or female, or children, or elderly. You have to look at the geographic and population of what kind of group you're working with, and come up with a plan accordingly. Now, why do most self-defense, I say most because there are a lot of them that are very effective, but why do most self-defense training out there end up failing in the most horrific way? It's not that the technique is not good. The techniques are being taught, the try and true knee in the groin, or some fancy wrist escape. A lot of that stuff works. They're good techniques, but they fail because they were taught to a wrong group of people. And sometimes, more often than not, they were taught wrongly. They were not trained in the right way. And I'm going to illustrate to you what I mean. When I first started today's video, you saw me reenact a few of the scenarios that can happen. I come up to a person, I grab him by the wrist, and I start punching him and beating the holy crap out of him. I even turn him and I come up behind him and grab him and start smacking him. Come up and grab his shirt and again, right in the face, start punching, attacking. That is how a lot of situations will go down out there. But are we training like that? Most of the places, no. Most people, they attend a couple of self-defense lessons. They learn what to do when someone grabs their wrist. You turn this way and you do that, and then you walk away. Oh yeah, I just won the fight. I just decimated my attacker. No, you didn't. You decimated your training partner. You didn't decimate your attacker. Because what people neglect to show is the attack part. Most of the time, when you're training with someone, they come up, they grab you by your wrist, and then they wait for you to do what you're supposed to do. Now, that kind of training is not wrong. When you first begin, when you first start, you have to train that way. Otherwise, you'll have too much going on, too much stress, too much pressure, and you are going to fudge the technique every single time. So in the beginning, it is cool. In the beginning, I'm going to just grab Bruce's wrist, one hand, two hand, opposite hand, and then pause, let him do his technique. He's not doing his technique, of course, because Bruce is my training dummy. And if he suddenly starts moving and doing the proper technique, I'm going to freak out. But as you progress through your training, you are supposed to give the other person more pressure. Now, when you grab the wrist, you want to tug them, or you want to push them, or you want to start smacking them, or you want to start elbowing and kicking them. Obviously, you don't want to go out of your way to put your partner in a hospital, but you want to make it realistic. Out there, people don't just grab your wrist and wait for you to do a self-defense move. Out there, after they grab your wrist, they either pull you to get you to go with them, push you to get you down on the ground, or they start attacking you, punch you in the face, smacking you in the face, elbow, knee. God forbid if that person also trained in something like kickboxing or MMA or jiu-jitsu, then you are in a really tight spot. Most self-defense programs today do not incorporate that kind of training. Even up to blue belt, brown belt, a lot of systems, they still do the slow grab. Maybe after they grab, they'll start to slowly swing a punch at your face, but it's not like what's out there. Okay, out there, people don't grab, oi, grab, oi. Right? Out there, that's not the speed. It's going to go down. Out there, people grab your wrist. Huh? It's really quick. It's really dirty. There's no rhyme or reason when that kind of stuff happens. So we got to prepare for that. When people grab your wrist, you need to be able to kick in from 0 to 100%. Your aggression level goes from 0 to 100%. And you don't want to just think about the hand that's grabbing you. You want to think about shutting the attacker down. So for today, we're going to go back to a very basic technique. Let's say Bruce has me by the neck like this, like a zombie. Yeah? His hands around my neck, my throat. Now, in a real situation, will he just be standing there? Obviously not. In a real situation, his other hand will mostly be smacking the side of my face, or he would be kicking me, or he would be pushing me around and trying to get me to slam into the wall, or all that stuff, right? So, the first thing I want to do in real life, if someone does that, is rather than worrying about this hand, I want to put my one hand up to defend my face, my body at least. I want to get one arm between me and him to stop what he's going to do. And then I worry about this hand. And the way I worry about this hand is not, please let go, please let go. I don't grab his hand and try to pry his finger away from my throat, because a big guy, a Bruce here is a big guy, you know. I'm not a small guy. Bruce is like a bit bigger than me. So if a guy like this has me by the throat, and I try to put my hand on it and find his pressure point and stuff like that, most likely it's just going to get myself hurt or killed and choked out. So you want explosiveness. So again, once the choke go around my throat and the person is driving in or pulling in or smacking me, I want to get one arm out between me and him. The arm on the same side as the choking hand is going to form a hook. I put my thumb and fingers all on the one side and I form a hook like this. Monkey hand. Okay, some of you heard this one before. I want to hit his wrist while pulling him to my shoulder. Okay? I don't want to just slap him and his hand go out there. Why? Because now that hand is free. It's free to come back and smack me on the face. You know, if I lose track of that hand, it's dangerous. I don't want to lose track of that hand. He chokes me with that hand. I'm going to hit it, pull it to my shoulder, and hold on to it. I'm going to hold on to this because now at least, especially for a blind person, but for most people it's the same thing. You want to keep control of the fight. Okay? We don't even want this to be a fight. We want this to start and finish. Hand around my neck. One arm out between me and him to protect myself. The other hand form the hook, come over his wrist, pluck, pull to my shoulder. Now he can't choke me. Now I have a quick control of him. Now I still have this free hand here. Right by his face. Boom. So if we do a quick, what it would look like is the hand come on my neck. I don't just hit him once. Okay? Once I pluck the hand away, I use my defending hand and drive into his face multiple times, as many times as necessary. Okay, this is when things get interesting, because once I get rid of the offending hand, I can keep attacking the face. I can grab him and bring the knee to the groin. I can bring my elbow into his neck or throat. I am now in control of the situation. He's on the defensive. And my goal is to shut the person down, shut down his central computer. You guys heard me talk about this, the last defense against knife attack situation. Always think about shutting down the person's central nervous system, the central computer, chin, nose, eyes, ear, throat. If I can get behind him, spine, kidney, anything to short out the central nervous system, to short out his signal, so he's thinking about how to survive, how to get away, rather than how to attack me. Obviously, because Bruce is not a real person, I can't get him to reenact a realistic choke and smack the heck out of me routine. But I hope that by what I've demonstrated today, it gives you guys a clearer view of how to train realistically. Remember, how you survive out there is very heavily dependent on how you train. How you want to be able to survive and fight is how you must train in the dojo or in the home environment. So stop training to choreograph. Okay, start being random with your partner when they're comfortable with their technique. Start adding realistic element. Even when you don't do the hitting, it is a good idea to grab your partner and start getting your fist in at them, yell at them, cuss at them, act like how bad guys really act out there. Act not like a civilized training partner, but act realistic, because that's how you can help your partner and help yourself get better in real practical self-defense. Thank you for checking out today's Tactical Tuesday. I will see you guys later. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong.